Okay, so it happened again, and even worse than before. There's a pattern here, and we gotta talk about it. So, Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken released about a week ago. I went to go see it. Was pretty alright. And, I noticed something was off on how my theater was empty, and maybe it's just my theater. Maybe it's other theaters are doing just fine. When I got home and decided to check the box office, dear God, it's horrible. Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken had the worst opening domestic box office out of any DreamWorks movie. Somehow even lower than Spirit Untamed. That is insane, and there is a really bad problem going on here. After Elemental just bombing and DreamWorks also bombing, it's seeming to come to the pattern of are original movies just not being seen anymore? This has been happening 3 times. Disney's latest original film, Strange World, did terrible at the box office. Just terrible. Bombed. Pixar's latest original film, Elemental, did terrible. It's starting to pick up its feet, but it's not a profit anymore. It's considered a box office bomb. And now Teenage Kraken, also DreamWorks' most recent original film, non-excluding the bad guys because that's based off of a book, also did terrible. And there is a pattern going on here because before this, original movies from these companies were popping off. Regardless, Moana, a crazy box office success. Before this, DreamWorks was also popping off with originals, and Pixar too. So it's really just coming down to what the hell is going on. And that's what we got to talk about today. Why are original movies, animated movies, not doing well at the box office? And I figured out that there's a lot of reasons, especially for this year, for what happened. And let's get talking into it. Number 1, it was overcrowded. Whoever thought June was a good idea to slam all these movies together is very stupid. I do not know why there was a blockbuster literally every single week. That was the most horrible idea. I don't know why Hollywood was thinking everyone was going to show up to a movie theater every single week. Well, I did. But that's not the point. Families can't show up to a movie theater every single week. Spider-Verse, on the other hand, did fine. It's doing great. It's blowing out the original movie's box office by a landslide. And honestly, that movie deserves it. It was been worked on for over 5 years, close to 5 years. And it's doing amazing. And that was the movie that was being hyped up for a while, and it started off the month of June. After that, no one really cared about what was coming out after that. Transformers did alright, but not up to the standards previously. The Flash is doing horrible. And then Elemental and the movies that come after are just not doing good. Look, the movie theaters are expensive. The movies are just generally expensive all the time. It's close to $60 to almost $100 just to bring a family to the movie theaters. Even getting higher if you're going to premium screens like IMAX, Realty, and even 4D, Jesus. It's just not a good idea. And honestly, I feel like most people saw Spider-Verse, maybe saw Flash, and called it a day. After that, most people didn't want to waste their money on a film they thought wasn't going to be good. Like Elemental or Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken. It was just way too overcrowded, and I noticed that July is barely even filled with any movies. Honestly, I'm probably not gonna see a film till the end of this month. I'm not really a big Mission Impossible fan, and the other movies that are coming out I'm just not really that interested in, and I'll probably just be seeing Barbie, maybe Oppenheimer, and just call it a day. And it's crazy to me how there were so many most of the weeks in July are completely empty, and so a lot of these movies could have taken up those dates, and I really don't understand why they were going to be doing that. Elemental and Ruby Gillman could have easily went into one of those dates, and chances are, if they had the correct marketing, it would have been a box office success. And that's what we gotta go into next. Marketing. Holy moly, both of these movies had horrible, marketing. It was just horrible. Elemental, on the other hand, it was definitely marketed, but it was marketed in the most horrible way. I don't know. The Pixar marketing team for this movie just did so bad. The way they marketed it was as this generic, Pixar film that didn't really have anything special to it, when the actual movie itself was really good, and I do recommend you go see that movie too. but the way they marketed it was just so bad. I still can't get that Claude. There was 2 posts about Claude that I can't get out of my head. I think you know what I'm talking about. It was so bad. The one where it was supposedly a theater reaction, which is supposedly piracy. I'm crazy that they were promoting that. And then the other one with Claude with Riz, it was just horrible marketing. And most people just went to go see Spider-Verse and just said, yeah, I'm not seeing Elemental. And that's why the movie bombed. It was just not interesting to people. The month was too crowded. Going to the movies, it's just not, it's expensive. And for a movie you don't even know if it's going to be good or not, it's not worth the risk going out and being disappointed. So Elemental's marketing was one thing. Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken's marketing was way too late. The movie started its marketing all the way in March. Most people didn't know this movie existed. I mean, I knew it existed about a year ago because when you looked at DreamWorks upcoming films, there was Meet the Gillmans, and then they switched the name, so it just disappeared and then re-emerged as Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken. It did get some traction. The first trailer got 10 million views, so I was like, oh, this could be a hit, but not a lot of people. It just went dead quiet for like 2 months. There was no marketing for the movie, and it felt like it only existed to mock The Little Mermaid. And the actual movie itself, no, that's not really what it was. But regardless, as soon as June started, it was barely even marketed. I've seen a TV spot of every single movie that has come out this month, and well, last month now, but I've never seen Ruby Gillman. I've never seen a TV spot. And literally the only billboard I saw was at a bus stop. And that's not good. There was no billboards for this movie. No advertising. And it was just bad. The only advertising I really saw was on Twitter. And that's not enough. And it came out the end of the month. They already had competition against Indiana Jones. It's a popular franchise. It just wasn't set up right. And then with Strange World, that marketing was also horrible. It's like these companies don't have faith in original movies and don't want to push their budget out. Ruby Gillman's box office is really bad, and I'm honestly kind of worried about it because I don't think this movie will be able to push up its legs like Elemental's doing, because with Ruby Gillman, it's a lot of mixed reactions and not a lot of people know whether it's good or not. And I think it's alright, but I get the mixed reactions people have with this, especially after it's the follow-up film after Puss in Boots: The Last Witch. So I get that. But the budget was $70 million, and that's something they could probably make back, but from the looks of things, I don't know if it will. And here's another topic where I wanted to cover. There's an animation studio you know very well that is the king of marketing, and that is Illumination. Illumination can turn a film about a bug doing whatever, well, those movies already exist, and can make it get $1 billion or $800 million plus, max. Illumination are the kings of marketing. They will get their movie on your Amazon packages. They will get it on your TV screens. They will give it to you at McDonald's. They do everything to get you to see this movie. The Mario movie especially, this thing was everywhere. You could not escape Mario's face. And the same thing had to do with Minions: The Rise of Gru. You couldn't escape it. There was advertising at IHOP, McDonald's, all these places. Illumination, even though their movies are cheap, I think the majority of the budget goes to marketing, because they make everyone know the movie exists, and people go out to see it. And I have to excuse Mario and Spider-Man, because they are movies based off already existing properties, so people have more of a reason to not be disappointed by these movies. And both of those movies were already great. They're doing very well at the box office, and Mario is still the biggest movie of the year regarding box office success. So, Illumination, I get why Nintendo went to Illumination. They know their marketing tactics and how they can really get people to go see their movies, and their animation is pretty good. So, I'm not saying that DreamWorks and Pixar need to do Illumination style of marketing, but get the word out there better. You can't just call it a day, post a trailer, and expect everyone to know the movie exists. That's just not how it works. Most of the time, you really gotta go far out there and make the marketing a lot better. And that's where DreamWorks and Pixar really messed up. And Disney with Strange World. It's really bad. And next is word of mouth, which these movies really struggled with it, but Elemental did start to pick up its feet. And even Puss in Boots: The Last Wish the word of mouth of that movie was the thing that saved it, because it had a similar domestic box office to Ruby Gillman, but after the weeks progressing of people getting the word of mouth saying how much of a masterpiece it was, then the movie started to pick up, and then the movie actually still is considered a financial success, not compared to the original movies, and obviously the previous Shrek movies have made more money, but you have to admit, these movies, the word of mouth of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish really saved it, and again, the marketing was a factor for why that movie just didn't do well. It looked generic. And it's crazy to me that these movies just don't know how to promote their movies. And they just look at Illumination what they do and try to ignore it. As much as Illumination may be a hated studio, I have to give them props to their marketing and how well they do it. And the word of mouth for Elemental has been picking it up a little bit. I feel like it'll cross back its budget, but it won't be really much of profit. And Ruby Gillman's word of mouth is just mixed, which is not that great. And especially there's a lot of blockbusters releasing after it, like Mission Impossible, and then Barbie and Oppenheimer release later in the month. I'm really worried about the film, and honestly, if this does bomb, let's just say Trolls World Tour, not World Tour, Band Together does a lot better than Ruby Gillman, that already sends the signal to DreamWorks, yeah, we gotta cut this off, and because they need money. DreamWorks isn't like a Disney caliber studio. Even though they are under Universal, so they do have the resources. They have the resources to do marketing. If Illumination has the resources, why doesn't DreamWorks? And it's crazy to me how that was able to happen. And number 4, before I get to this, I do want to give a special guest to why this may be happening. And you may know him very well, Awsomemay. Let's see what he has to say about the movie.
Hey guys, Awsomemay here, and I'm quite the master in deciding why things flop. And I think recently with Ruby Gillman and Elemental, we've gotten to see the actual terrible marketing that can happen with animation. I wasn't too surprised with Elemental. People kind of decided to take a break from Pixar after Lightyear, and the marketing for Elemental managed to promote the worst aspects of the film. Like, if we had gotten trailers that actually showed the personalities and romance side of Elemental, so many more people would have seen it. But no, it was just random puns that didn't appeal. Now, as for Ruby Gillman, that one I didn't expect to flop because it just seems like the most animated movie ever. Like, it just looks like an animated movie that would do well. It has all the cliches, but apparently not, and I'm so confused with the absolute zero promotion this movie had. Even when DreamWorks dominated with Bad Guys and Puss in Boots 2, you would think they would have more confidence now with Ruby Gillman, but no, they waited like 4 months in advance to put out any trailers. Also, the dialogue they chose to feature in the trailers was just so hard to listen to. Whoever wrote this line, I want them fired. I think another huge reason for the recent blockbuster flops is due to just overcrowding of the theaters recently, and everyone being kind of exhausted by seeing so many movies lately. So we're kind of taking a break until, of course, we get the Barbie movie. And I think people forget to realize sometimes movies will do bad because people just don't want to keep going to the movies because it's expensive. We already bought our tickets and the overpriced popcorn for Across the Spider-Verse. That movie was amazing. I'm not going to spend that much just to see two elements make out. That's a joke, but you get what I mean. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Number 1, really bad marketing, and number 2, there are so many movies coming out that we just can't see every single one. However, I still feel bad for DreamWorks and Pixar.
And we're back. Thank you, Awsomemay. Make sure to go subscribe to his channel. I'll leave it down below. He's a great content creator. But yeah, I really do feel bad for Pixar and DreamWorks. And honestly, the last part that I wanted to add is that Pixar and really DreamWorks have to realize, number 4, adapt to the competition. Sony has been going insane lately. Ever since Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse released back in 2018, their animation studio has been regarded as one of the best ever. And they were the animation studio that made the Emoji Movie. I still can't believe that. They have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Released on Netflix was just Mitchell's vs. the Machines, which was also really great. A lot of these movies are taking these different animation styles, taking the risk, and are bringing in lots of people and lots of money. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is doing so well. It's a complete box office success. And even later in the month, Nimona has just released on Netflix, and that is now like one of the biggest animated releases on Netflix ever. And I kid you not, if that movie was released in theaters, so many people would have seen it, and it would have done so much money. It would have made so much money. That's Disney's fault. That they missed out on a lot, but I'm really glad that movie came to fruition. And now even next month with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Yes, that may be based on an existing property, but the animation alone has already have people intrigued. And with that, there's also that other movie, Wish. We'll just have to see how many people will really buy into them doing a different animation style, but these companies gotta change it up a bit. People are tired of just the generics with their trailers, and sometimes the movies are really good, sometimes they're not. And that's where Pixar, DreamWorks, and all these other animation studios, this really goes out to everyone. Just adapt to the competition that happened. I remember when everyone had switched from 2D to 3D animation? Why can't we now switch from 3D animation to this new stylized type of animation? And maybe, just maybe, those two studios could be back where they are. Pixar has Elio releasing next year, and we have Trolls releasing later this year, and Kung Fu Panda 4. Kung Fu Panda 4 I'm not really that worried about, but Trolls band together, we'll just have to see how that turns out. But yeah, those are my thoughts on to why Pixar and DreamWorks are just not hitting the mark. They just didn't hit the mark last month with these movies, and what could possibly be the future, and what are they doing wrong? What do you guys think? Why do you think this is happening? And leave it down in the comments, let me know. And yeah, that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Worked on it for a while, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace out, everyone. Alright, this is another end card, so thank you guys once again for watching this video. Want to give huge credit to Awsomemay for wanting to come on for this video and give his thoughts for why this may be happening. Also, huge thanks to my avatar editor for doing all these avatars for me. You saw it was switching throughout the video from like Ruby Gillman, my normal avatar, then Spider-Man, then to Luigi. It was switching up a lot, but yeah, huge credits to him. And also, thank you guys so much for the latest few videos. Jesus, you guys have been coming in a lot. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Hopefully it's an Amona review. Please, nothing else show up. Alright, bye guys.